you pay very close attention to what customers say, they will give you all kinds of ideas.
I was actually just kind of curious to know, like, when you mentioned like kind of these market forces, is like I kind of like think of that as like active listening. It's like all the great entrepreneurs I know are like really have ears to the marketplace, and I think not enough people understand that. I would love to hear your thoughts on like what you do active listening. That's a part one, and then part two of that is one of the things I see in the people who do successful Google ads consistently over time is, as Dan Kennedy says, whoever can pay the most for the customer wins. In other words, whoever has the best, most sophisticated, most like serve their customers the longest and the deepest on the back end are the people who win over time. I would love to hear your thoughts, like that whole journey, start to finish, how you start the active listening to find out where those kind of beaten paths are, and then how you use that also to build a more sophisticated kind of back end for clients, customers, and so forth.
So let's start with what people call things. When you're developing a product, first of all, back to just a minute ago, talking about natural forces, the most successful products are the products that people made because a customer asked for it, right? Like it's not so often that somebody wakes up at 3:00 in the morning with a eureka idea and they're like, I gotta build an industrial doumoufflage. Right. All right, here we go, and this is going to be the most successful. Now, usually, like a customer has a problem, and they're like, we've been duct taping this thing together, and we got balls of twine, and it just sucks. Could you like make a, and they're like, okay, and then all of a sudden they sold 100,000 of them. So if that happens, because it should happen, like you should be developing products based on what people are asking you and the questions that they have and the problems that they're having. Now you have a product and you need a name for it. And so, yeah, you can and should you come up with 10 different names and brainstorm and whiteboard about it. But what you should do is you should start floating when you're on a Zoom or a phone conversation with a customer and you use a name and he repeats it back to you a little wrong because it's more natural to him to say it a different way, you take notes. And so, like, let's take my book, 80-20 Sales and Marketing. I've heard a whole lot of people call it 80-20 marketing. Well, that would easily be candidate number 2 for what to call the book. Maybe it should even be candidate number 1. Now that ship's already sailed. But like when we came up with the subtitle, The Definitive Guide to Working Less and Making More, we used Facebook ads and Google ads to test a whole bunch of phrases and see what actually clicks with people. And that's what I mean by active listening. If you pay very close attention to what customers say, they will give you all kinds of ideas, and they should be fed back into testing Google ads. Because, the thing about 20 years ago in Google ads, they were so cheap, 5 cents, 50 cents a click and all that. You could be the marketing guy or gal who hides in a cave, doesn't talk to anybody, just split tests, just look at Google Analytics, just looks at conversion data and runs the whole world by remote control, which most internet marketers, that's what they love to do. In fact, marketers, I think most marketers are people who like the idea of people, but they don't really like people.
Right.
I think they're introverts.
Yeah.
They think people are fascinating. They do like people, but they take people in limited doses.
Yeah, and they certainly don't want actual real customers. They want people just to pay them and then like disappear into the night and ride off on a horse.
And when I go to a party, I don't want to talk to 180 people. I go to a party and I'm going to sit in a corner. I'm going to talk to like 2 other people all night. We're going to have a great conversation.
It's
And
gonna be
like,
you and
hi,
us.
how you doing? Great. Hi, how you doing? Great. Hi, how you doing? Great. I'm not into that. I'm a typical marketer. Um, and so it's very tempting to, well, I'm just going to do my Google Analytics. I'm just going to do my test my ads. But advertising is so expensive. It will almost never work now unless you have a whole bunch of that organic knowledge. If you've had 25 or 250 conversations with customers, you've seen every which way that that conversation tends to go. There's all kinds of phrases, there's all kinds of things. You try something on the phone, somebody tells you a crazy story, and then that feeds into your advertising. And then you have this much richer set to go on of what do you know about your customers.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the deep things is that I've heard that described as like businesses need to be market driven rather than like owner driven. But I see this like, if 100 local businesses start, it's often usually like, the plumber, because I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to be a plumber, but not because market forces say what we really need in, Frog Balls, Arkansas is one more plumber because we don't have enough people clogging toilets, right? And there's always underserved pockets within there. So I love the idea of like actually connecting with customers and then feeding it back to the old Google machine. I love your thoughts for people who are introverts like that, because as you mentioned, I think a lot of marketers fit that, or at least we're a little bit weird into behavioral psychology. I find that like I don't know if I'm as much of an introvert personally as I just like don't like talking to everybody as much as like they're not that interesting to me, but they are at the same time.
There's that. There's that. Yes.
Guys, if you like this video, you're also going to want to grab some free bonuses, which you can get at our website, Beyond Agency Profits. To make it easy for you, I've put the links to it in the description of this video, as well as pinned in the top comment. And we've got a couple of awesome things. This is what you'll get after you sign up. You get some of our best training, how we're closing clients over Loom videos, how we sometimes sign clients that is not a misprint for under $5 US. How to demonstrate your value in like amazing ways, trainings, how to have your clients write the best copy of your life, how we're closing without phone calls, campaigns that we've generated for clients that have done over $100,000, as well as scripts you can use to get conversations going with clients in under 10 minutes. All you got to simply do is go there, enter your name and email address, and then this is what you'll see on the other side. So if that's interesting to you, make sure to click the links below, and I will see you on the other side.